Hey, welcome to Witchy Tip Wednesday. I'm going to be making some sugar skulls today. It's a great Mexican folk art and I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. I'll tell you, I've never made these before. So this is going to be a really fun experiment, but we're putting up an altar on November 1st and we would like to include some of these on our altar. Before I get started, I just want to make a quick note, say something a little bit about what is on a lot of people's minds anymore, and it has to do with cultural appropriation. So with Dia de los Muertos, it's often traditional for people to put these calaveras on their ofrendas, and it's something that I think before you do, you need to learn about it, understand why you're doing it, and treat it with respect. It's beautiful, it's a beautiful art, but it has meaning that people need to be aware of. So I'm not from Mexico. It's not what my ancestors would have normally put on their altars, although, first of all, we all have ancestors, right? And we can all create an altar if that's what we feel called to do. I think that's a really important thing. It can be a beautiful thing. But if your ancestors would not appreciate this, don't do it, because it's for them, it's not for you. The altar that we're creating is not just our personal family altar, and in which case our personal family altar is pretty mixed up because we're pretty mixed up. But we are doing something for community, and we're doing something in the next couple of days that we're hopefully will have multiple representations of many diverse cultures and people, because that's who we will be honoring within our community. So with that said, have some fun, but show respect for it as well, because it does have meaning. It's not just something that looks cool. All right, so sugar skulls, here we go. Like I said, I haven't done these before. So what I hear you do, you can experiment with me, is there's a ratio of like 1 cup of sugar to 1 teaspoon of meringue powder to a teaspoon of water. And I got to thinking that that's really not going to make too much. So I had to beat a whole bag of sugar. And I don't know what it is with me, but I tend not to follow recipes so much. I may regret this, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to be close. And with my measurements. So that was about 4 pounds of sugar. Usually you get sugar like 4 or 5 pound bag. Mine was a 4 pound bag, so the math is easier if it were 5 pound, but I'm going to just fudge it. So my meringue powder, to my 4 pounds, I'm going to put in probably slightly less than 1/4 of a cup, about that much, and we're going to get that distributed and mixed in. Probably would be a good idea to maybe put this in a food processor or a blender, or even to sift it. I'm going to use my hands because I like to get messy, but that might be something. I've seen people do that where they process it down and look pretty, like it would make a pretty good deal to do that. So now we're going to add a little bit of water, about the same amount. I'm just using less than 1/4 cup, something like that, and we're going to get that in there as well. And then I'm going to start mixing, and we're going to mix until hopefully it gets to the consistency, this is fun, of clumpy sand, like you're going to be making a sand castle with it. And feels like I'm going to need more water. I don't know. We're going to go for it. But once you get it thoroughly saturated, well, no, it's not saturated, it's not the right word, is it? But we're going to try to get it so it's like clumps together. I guess the idea is you want it to hold together when you squeeze it. So obviously I'm going to need some more liquid in here. This would make a great facial scrub. Next week, leftover facial scrubs from sugar skulls. Let's see here. I'll do just a little more. I do have more sugar, so, you know, if I get too much water in here, I'll throw in another bag. Who knows? Okay, so I mixed in more water. I actually put in a little extra meringue powder to see if that would help make it nice and hard when it dries. Now, I don't have molds. I think that would be a whole lot easier if I had molds, but I'm going to use what I have, which today will be my hands. So I'm going to grab a clump of this. You can see, like, when I squeeze it really hard now, it sticks together for the most part. So I'm going to grab a clump of it and sort of shape it into a ball. I want to try to squeeze that as tight as I can to try to get it really packed together, because I'm hoping it's not going to crumble. And I'm going to do my best for sculpting with this. You know, I see people sculpting sand and it's amazing. I don't know how they do it. This has got to be really similar. So I'm going to shape it into a little bit of a ball and then pinch it like down where the jawbone is, or would be, to try to get somewhat of a depression in back, like where the mandible is. All right, try to get sort of a skull shape going. I did have some carving tools, and I found that I practiced a little bit before. It didn't really make too much of a difference for me. My little finger worked best. I'm going to just poke that in there carefully and press that in for some eyes. As I'm doing this, I noticed that, like, the sugar might crack a little bit, so I'm trying to sort of pinch it and hold it together, and it's pretty delicate. You're going to be really gentle. I think that once it dries, it's going to be hard as a rock. You know, if you've ever made the royal icing frosting, how hard it gets. So I'm really hoping this will do the same thing. Fun part will be decorating. We'll get that next. But for right now, I'm trying to make a little nose here. I think I'm going to try this little tool to make some lines for where the teeth or the mouth might be, just to give it a suggestion. Okay, it's kind of a chubby little skull. All right, like chubby. Chubby's good. So we got a kind of a chubby little skull. I'm going to try these with a few more and put them on. I have a cookie tray here covered with parchment paper. So we're going to try some of these, see how they turn out, and then we're going to get to decorating in just a minute. All right, got the skulls molded. This is how much that 4-pound bag of sugar made. I have a couple of different sizes, some smaller ones for babies, middle size, and then I experimented with a, it's not officially a mold, it was a Halloween decoration, and I grabbed the head of the Halloween decoration and used it as a mold, and it's flat, you know, it's not exactly rounded like the traditional ones, but it was kind of fun to try something different. And so you really might have something around your house you could use just as easily if you didn't want to go with molding it by hand. So now the fun part, I gathered together the things I had in my cupboard. So I found some sprinkles. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but you know, here's sprinkles. They've got some chocolate icing, this black gel writer. There's some pearl candies, maybe to use as eyes or something like that. And then I made up just a couple of colors with some different tips. So I'm going to grab one here and give it a shot. I've never done this before, so this is going to be kind of fun. And I think I'm going to practice with one, and then maybe I'm going to do one from my grandmother's when I feel like I'm a little bit better with this. But let's give it a shot. We're going to do a little bit of decorating, and I think I'm going to go grab my kids and have them come and help too, because they should be a part of this as well. And I'm going to see what we come up with. And hopefully it's going to be a little better than this one, but we shall see. So I really hope that you're encouraged to try something like this on your own and give it a shot. See what you come up with, because you know what, I'm really happy with it. It really worked out pretty well. If you don't have a bakery that sells these in your town, or Mercado that you can go to, you know? I mean, you can do this. You can do it. Decorating has really not been my thing. That's not my medium, but I'm going to practice. Want to see it? I'm going to practice. Ta-da! My first attempt. What the heck? Not bad. You can do this. You can do better than this. Have a good time.